Leo stood at the edge of the vast desert, his golden mane ruffling in the warm breeze. His emerald eyes sparkled with excitement as he gazed at the endless sea of sand dunes stretching before him. The young lion couldn't wait to explore this mysterious new place. As Leo took his first steps into the desert, he heard a gentle voice behind him. "Wait for me," called Tilly, adjusting her purple backpack as she caught up to her friend. The little turtle's turquoise and coral shell gleamed under the bright desert sun. Leo bounded ahead, his yellow scarf trailing behind him as he climbed the first sand dune. His paws sank slightly into the soft sand, making each step an adventure. The desert wind carried unfamiliar scents that made his whiskers twitch with curiosity. Tilly and Leo discovered strange markings in the sand, tiny tracks that zigzagged across the dunes. "Look!" Tilly exclaimed, her amber eyes bright with interest. "These must be clues to something exciting." The pair decided to follow the mysterious trail. The desert landscape stretched endlessly before them, painted in beautiful shades of gold and orange. Strange rock formations cast long shadows across the sand, creating shapes that sparked their imagination. The air shimmered with heat, making distant objects appear to dance. Leo crouched low, examining a cluster of unusual desert plants. Their spiky leaves and colorful blooms were unlike anything he had ever seen before. His curious nature drove him to lean in closer, wondering what secrets these desert flowers might hold. Tilly spotted something glinting in the distance. She carefully made her way toward it, her shell catching the sunlight. As she got closer, she realized it was a small pool of water surrounded by smooth stones, an oasis hidden among the dunes. The young lion's eyes widened as he discovered a series of small caves in a rocky outcrop. Wind whistled through the openings, creating mysterious sounds that echoed across the desert. His adventurous spirit urged him to investigate further. Together, the friends explored the caves, finding walls covered in ancient drawings. Tilly's thoughtful nature helped them piece together the story these images told, while Leo's bravery led them deeper into the cavern's cool shadows. The desert sun began to set, painting the sky in brilliant shades of pink and purple. Long shadows stretched across the sand dunes, transforming the landscape into a magical wonderland. The cooling air carried new sounds and scents. Leo stood proudly atop the highest dune, his mane catching the last rays of sunlight. He felt accomplished after their day of exploration, having discovered so many wonderful things about the desert with his friend. As twilight approached, Tilly noticed strange, glowing patterns appearing in the sand around them. The mysterious lights seemed to be moving, creating a trail that led toward an unknown destination. The desert, it seemed, had one more surprise in store for them. Leo and Tilly followed the mysterious glowing patterns in the sand, their hearts racing with excitement. The young lion's emerald eyes glowed in the growing darkness as he led the way, his yellow scarf fluttering behind him. The patterns swirled and danced, forming shapes that looked like ancient symbols. Tilly's amber eyes sparkled as she carefully recorded the symbols in her purple backpack's notebook, her scientific mind trying to decode their meaning. A gentle desert breeze carried whispers of an unknown melody. The stars began appearing in the darkening sky, twinkling like diamonds scattered across deep blue velvet. The desert seemed more magical than ever in the twilight. Leo bounded forward, his curiosity getting the better of him, as the glowing trail led them to a circle of unusual crystal formations. The crystals pulsed with a soft, rainbow-colored light that matched the patterns in the sand. Tilly examined the crystals closely, her shell reflecting their colorful glow. She noticed that each crystal seemed to hum a different musical note when touched, creating a mysterious desert symphony. The young lion carefully pressed his paw against one of the crystals, and a burst of golden light illuminated the desert night. His brave heart raced as he realized they had discovered something truly extraordinary. Together, they discovered that touching the crystals in different sequences created various magical effects. Some made desert flowers bloom instantly, while others created small whirlwinds of sparkling sand. The desert night air filled with the sound of gentle chimes as more crystals emerged from the sand, forming a path that led deeper into the mysterious landscape. Stars seemed to dance overhead, matching the crystal's rhythm. Tilly's thoughtful nature helped them create a map of the crystal locations in her notebook. She noticed that they formed a constellation pattern similar to the ones twinkling above in the night sky. Leo's adventurous spirit drove him to experiment with different crystal combinations. His emerald eyes widened as one particular sequence caused the entire crystal circle to pulse with brilliant light. The desert around them transformed into a spectacular light show, with auroras of color dancing across the dunes. The wind carried the sound of ancient desert songs, telling stories of magic and wonder. As they stood in awe of the magical display, a new set of glowing patterns appeared in the sand. These were different from the first ones. They seemed to point towards something hidden beneath an enormous dune, promising yet another desert mystery to solve. Leo and Tilly approached the enormous dune where the new patterns led. The young lion's paw prints left gentle impressions in the glowing sand as he took the lead, his yellow scarf glowing softly in the crystal light. Using her clever mind, Tilly suggested they use the crystal sequences they learned to reveal what lay beneath the sand. Her shell sparkled with reflected starlight as she pulled out her notebook to review their discoveries. The desert wind picked up, carrying grains of luminescent sand that swirled around them like tiny stars. The crystal circle behind them hummed with energy, creating a beautiful harmony with the desert night. Leo pressed his paw against the sand in the pattern they had learned, and the ground began to glow beneath them. His emerald eyes widened with wonder as the massive dunes slowly began to shift. The sand parted to reveal an ancient desert garden, perfectly preserved and filled with crystalline flowers that chimed softly in the breeze. Tilly gasped in amazement as her amber eyes took in the magical sight. Together, they entered the garden, where every step created musical notes that joined in harmony with the crystal songs. The flowers seemed to dance in response to their presence, casting rainbow lights across the sand. Leo bounded joyfully through the garden, his curiosity finally satisfied as he understood that this was what they had been meant to find. His brave heart swelled with accomplishment at their discovery. The garden's crystal flowers began to release tiny spots of light that floated upward like fireflies, creating a spectacular display that illuminated the entire desert night sky. Tilly carefully documented everything in her notebook, drawing the beautiful scene before them. Her thoughtful nature helped her realize that they had uncovered an ancient desert secret meant to be shared with others. The young lion stood proudly in the center of the garden, watching as the crystal lights danced around them. He knew their curious hearts had led them to something truly special that would forever change the desert. As dawn approached, the garden's magic merged with the rising sun, creating permanent paths of softly glowing crystals throughout the desert. The once mysterious landscape had become a beacon of wonder and discovery. Leo and Tilly sat together at the garden's edge, watching the sunrise paint the desert in golden light. Their adventure had transformed the desert into a magical place where curiosity and friendship had revealed its greatest treasure, a garden of crystal songs that would welcome desert explorers for generations to come.
Minitale.